Hello, Sam Spinella, your trusted real estate guy. Okay, let's talk about the misnomers of real estate. There's quite a few of them, so what I decided to do was take the top 7 misnomers of real estate. Coming in at the first one, which is going to be at the very end, of course. So let's start with number 7. Spring is the only good time to sell. While spring is a busy time in real estate, it's not always the best time to sell. If you're looking for the highest price, what you want to do is put the house on the market in a timely manner. It doesn't make sense to try and time the market because you never know what might happen. If you wait for the next spring, it might be that the market's slower then than it was the winter before. Sometimes in winter, it's actually been a great time to sell. It's always best to evaluate the market when you're ready to sell. Don't try and time it. Talk to a trusted real estate advisor. I'm always happy to help. If you have somebody that you work with constantly, then reach out to them and find out how is the market right now? What does it look like as far as house being prepped? What needs to be done? Time it out that way. Don't always think that the spring is going to be the best time to sell. It's not always. Now, here's a good one too. Number 6, the best offer is always the highest offer. Oh boy, no, that's not true. And people have been burned and caught off guard with this one. What you want to look at is you want to look at the terms of the offer. For the terms of the offer, that could be how long is the closing time? How long is the buyer asking to have a contingency for? So how long is the contingency? How long is the closing time? What types of contingencies are in place? The inspection contingency for the seller, that can be the absolute worst thing that the seller needs or wants is the inspection contingency. And the reason for that is inspection contingency here in Silicon Valley specifically, we already do the inspections. So if we already have the inspections done, why is a buyer asking for inspection contingency? That can actually put all the cards in the buyer's hands. If you have multiple offers, one of those offers may not be there. The second best offer may find something else by the time you turn around and want to get back into contract with somebody else after the highest offer has pulled out because they didn't like the lampshade, or not lampshade, they didn't like the curtains, or they didn't like the window, they didn't like the light switch. Light switch is a good one. They didn't like the light switch. So they could pull out because they didn't like the light switch. It's really as simple as that. So no, the best offer is not always the highest offer. You want to look at the terms as well. Number 5, you don't need a pre-approval until you find the house. This is really not true at all because the pre-approval is necessary so you know what house to look for in the price range. When you go out first, if you don't have a pre-approval, you just kind of have a good idea. Well, your good idea might be based on the fact of how much money you make, but not taking into account your total debt to income ratio, for example. And you're looking for a home that's 1.5 million or 2 million, and you might be more comfortable in a home that's 1,250,000. So now, when you go to get that pre-approval and you're in contract, let's say you found a house and you were able to get into contract just based on getting the pre-approval, but you don't get approved because you didn't get the pre-approval before you went looking and you didn't have all of your ducks in a row, so to speak, before you actually went out looking for the house. Number 4, as a seller, the open houses sell the homes. No, that's not true because the open house, while it is certainly a helpful way to market the home, some agents will say that's just the agents marketing and finding more sellers. Not necessarily the case, but an open house is not going to sell the home either. It does open the door for people who may otherwise not be able to see the home. At the same time, you do also want to pay attention to the private showings that the agents are going to do, whether that's the listing agent or the buyer's agent. However that goes, you want to be able to have the open houses. And I think that where the misnomer really comes from is more about the house being easily seen. At the drop of a hat, somebody can come see the home is in good condition, the home is clean, and the home is well staged while the person is living there, or it's well staged with furniture that is staging furniture. So again, that's number 4, and open houses sell homes. Not necessarily true, and really not true. Number 3, all real estate agents do the same thing. No, that's certainly not true. Every agent is an independent contractor, and every agent is going to run their business differently than the next agent. Personally, as far as myself, I'm a full service agent, And so somebody can literally hand me the keys as a seller. I will completely take care of the house. I've had clients hand me the keys and they move back east. I have the house packed up, shipped back to them, and then I prep the house and have it ready for the market within an X amount of time. And I have everything done for the client. Not every agent does that, and not every agent is also full service. And so it's very important to understand and differentiate between that. Not every agent runs their business the same way. In fact, the reason that I am a full service agent and I do that for my clients is because when I was a loan officer, I used to see how some agents that I referred business over to would work with the clients that I referred. And I decided that was not the best way I felt the client should be taken care of. So that's why one of the reasons that I came over to this side of the business as selling homes. Just a little known fact. Number 2, the Zestimate. Yes, the Zestimate, or the online valuation, is my home's true value. No. Sometimes the Zestimate is way off. Sometimes it's actually right on. But I'll tell you what, I'm always surprised when the Zestimate is within 15% of being accurate. Some clients will say, oh, my house is only worth 1.2, but it's actually worth 1.4. And other people will say my house is worth 2.5 and it's actually worth 2.25. And based on the comparables, one of the reasons is that Zillow and other online valuations are really algorithms. And what they're doing is they're taking into account your next door neighbor's house, for example. If it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and yours is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and let's say their house was not updated and it wasn't in good condition necessarily, it had a lot of work to be done, but your house was newly updated and it's in excellent condition, the house that sold next door might sell for $2 million and your house might be worth 2.5. So that's certainly something to take into account. And no, Zillow and online valuations, they tend to be off more often than not. All right, so here is the number 1 misnomer in real estate. Are you ready for this one? Always price high, you can come down later. Well, no. The problem with this, and it's not a car. So when you're selling a house, when you're selling real estate, it's not a car, it's not a vehicle, it's not something that you're posting on Facebook Marketplace. It's something that has tremendous value, and it also is something that tends to be the person's most valuable asset. So a most valuable asset is not a car. You're not going to price it high and hope for the best offer. It doesn't work like that, really. And one of the reasons, the biggest reasons for it, is that everything now is based on filters. So when a buyer is looking to buy, they have filters set in place. So if they can purchase a home for $2 million, they have filters typically that are going just below $2 million or maybe just at $2 million. If they have an agent who's working for them, they're actually going to have a separate search with the agent looking for homes that have been on the market for a while, because that takes a little more legwork. You want to make sure that you're looking for those homes that have been on the market for a while. The agent is going to look for those homes and then do a little more legwork in the fact that calling that other agent or calling the seller and finding out, how is it that this house has been sitting on the market for a while? What are the seller's expectations? See if that falls into the buyer's idea of what they want to actually buy and what they're looking for, and then bring it together that way. So no, you don't want to price high. Another reason for it is that when you price high, the house sits. When the house sits, you change out what we look at as days on market. When the days on market goes long, the housing becomes what we call stale. It becomes a stale listing. When the listing goes stale, it's more likely that people won't want to look at that house for whatever reason. It can be the most perfect house, but if it's listed high and then it goes stale and the days on market are higher than what the typical days on market are, then the buyers aren't going to go. And if you make a price reduction, typically, if you price too high, you might be $50,000 off. You don't want to do that. You want to bring it $50,000 below at least. And you also want to look at the market at the time you put it on the market. So there's not a one size fits all for that. At the same time, you definitely do not want to put it over market value. You want to put it under market value, and you want to look at the market as to where it sits then currently. Ask your professional realtor, where should we price this house? What should we do to this house to have it move quickly? Unless you want to have it sit on the market. God bless you if you do. Typically, that's not the idea though. I hope this helps. Please let me know if you have any questions, and also let me know what your thoughts are about the misnomers. I would love to hear some misnomers from you as well. Please, if I missed any, please let me know. Hope you're doing well. I'm always here and happy to help. Talk to you soon.